Hello and welcome to the Pardon My Geek podcast, a safe place for fellow geeks to talk about the latest shows, movies, and lore surrounding the characters that we love. From Mando to WandaVision to the Wizarding Realm, we got you covered. Jump in and feel free to nerd out. What's good, geeks, and welcome to the Pardon My Geek podcast, where each and every week we bring you the latest geek news and our reviews. My name is Johnny. It's a trap, Admiral Awkward, and today with me, well, he hates the sand, isn't allowed to be on the council, he's allowed to be on the council, but not a Jedi Master, not a big fan of younglings, Joey Skywalker. How's it going?
You know who it is. I'm doing good today, Johnny. Admiral Awkward. It's good to be back. Excited to be bringing the podcast back with you. Excited for future episodes. So let's get into it.
Yeah, and today we're also streaming live, and we're going to be actually showing this on YouTube. So I'm going to export it to YouTube after we're done. We are actually going to be streaming this live from now on the Not a Click Network YouTube channel. So if you ever want to watch us live or kind of chat in, you might actually get on the podcast with that. But anyways, just before we even get started, this episode is brought to you by Audible. You can support the podcast by going to audibletrial.com/click. That's CLIQUE and get a free 1-month trial. But we will talk more about that in a bit. For now, let's go ahead and get to this week in Geek.
Are we being mind controlled to see that right now?
Jeepers creepers.
All right. And so, if you haven't noticed, we've been gone for a little bit. And our apologies.
A lot of you probably didn't notice.
Our apologies. But yeah, so we've been kind of gone for a little bit. Things have been crazy with all of us. We've had things moving around.
Vacations.
Yeah, seriously, vacations. And then after Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of ended, it was kind of a lull anyways. None of us really into anything. But quickly, I guess we didn't talk about the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think we didn't do that one. But, I mean, not that we're going to really crazy cover it right now. But what did you think of the ending?
I'm going to have to leave it to you because it's a blur for me right now.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I watched that episode.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I honestly thought either Sam or Bucky were going to die. That was my prediction.
Yeah.
That did not happen. So, Sam is now the new Captain America.
I was almost certain it was going to be Bucky.
Yeah, but no
like
serum.
that Bucky was going to die.
Yeah, I thought Bucky was going to too. What else do they have left for him, Yeah. My best friend's dead. Now I'm going to die, the whole, the Notebook, grandma and grandpa die holding hands.
He just decided to make some controversial tweets instead.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
No.
I don't remember what his name is. The actor that plays Bucky, he was in some hot water. I'm pretty sure it's for something stupid, but I don't exactly remember. I read an article on it yesterday. It was like he liked something. It was weird. He literally liked a video on Instagram, and someone in the video said something pretty messed up. But he's in hot water for liking the video.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it everyone dug up some stuff from his past, not even directly related to him. It was stuff that his wife had tweeted out. Anyway.
Yikes.
This isn't one of those podcasts. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. We do have one trivia response for the end, so make sure you stay tuned to that. First of all, let's quickly mention that Black Widow is coming out soon. She's dropping in theaters for the second time.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I always have to bring up the drop because, you got to always wait till the Black Widow drops.
I never see it coming.
So if you guys don't know anything what I'm talking about in Infinity War, when she's
spoiler alert.
Yeah, she's sacrificed for the Soul Stone. she dies from the drop. Anyways,
Such a good scene too.
It is.
Yeah,
it is like a
with
sad,
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye and her. I honestly thought Hawkeye was gonna, die because his family was dead, but
Yeah, I don't know.
nope. But anyways,
I would have been sad if Hawkeye died. I mean, obviously, in terms of who's the more dynamic character, who would have been, more fun to see in future movies, like, or, at least in the second part of Infinity War. Obviously, I think Black Widow is a better character.
Really?
She is getting her own movie, so I guess I
Yeah.
can't complain. But I don't know. I mean, I like Hawkeye. He's just the most normal
Yeah.
Avenger. People always say
I
that.
shoot arrows.
Have you ever seen that
That's all I
SNL
do.
skit?
Yes. I'm trying to think of. Actually, no, not SNL. Sorry, I was thinking of when the actor actually went on to like Conan or something. Maybe it's Jimmy Kimmel, but he can actually sing and play piano really well, and he was like all dressed out in Hawkeye uniform.
I think it was.
And he's basically
Fallon.
Yeah, and he's basically sings a song about basically everyone else has powers but him, and all he has is like arrows. But
Yeah.
what happens when he runs out of arrows?
Yeah,
and,
that's
like-
what the SNL skit is about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he runs out of arrows and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
pretty much.
it's-
But that's why when he becomes Ronin, he's a little bit different there. So
I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I really want to see him more in that character. So
Yeah.
it's kind of sad that his family is like now back alive. So.
Yeah, that sucks. A sidebar. In my team chat at work, I and a couple friends frequently use like a gif of when he's like, "Don't do that. Don't give me hope." It's like
Don't give me hope.
someone's like, "We might get to leave early today."
Don't
Post
give
that
me
gif.
Nice. Yeah, so Black Widow's coming out. I don't know how excited I am about it. Like, I'm just like, are they just trying to milk the last little bit of money left in this character, or
We'll
is it
see.
going to be a good movie?
We'll
Because
see.
it's not like, is it going to lead anything? It's leading to her death. Unless they did some kind of multiverse thing. That'd be-
Oh no way.
and then she comes back. But please, no. Just no. But anyways, so
I just have this weird stigma for some reason about like movies that you can just watch immediately with like the Disney Plus subscription. I don't know. I always feel like I don't know. And
some of them haven't been too bad.
I'm
But
really interested. I'm gonna look up really quick what the budget for that movie is because I
Yeah.
feel like it's I don't know. I'm just scared it's gonna be
is there
not as high
another
production
like
quality.
Disney Plus? I thought like you have Disney Plus, but then you have to pay for the movie, and it's like $30.
It's so there's
That's what we did
there's
with-
another subscription. It's like I think it's instead of like $15 a month, it's $30 a month, and you get to watch.
Am I paying $50 a month for this? I thought it was like $7.99 or $8.99.
I don't know, but if you have like that additional subscription, you can watch movies like right when they come out, or it
okay.
might be actually someone told me recently. I don't know if it's true that it's like you get one release per month with that, but I'm not sure.
Let us know if you know. If you know right now and you're listening to this podcast,
Don't look
you're
it
like,
up.
I
Don't
just
cheat.
want to tell them you can go to notaclick.net/wait a sec.
Or
and
if
let
you're
us
our
know.
viewer, you can type it in the chat.
That's true. Well, so right now, because I had to wait like 24 hours, I couldn't go live on the Not a Click network, so I just went live on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/John_E. But anyways,
Okay, the budget for the new Black Widow movie is $200 million plus. So that's a lot of cheddar.
yeah,
That
is. So it should be pretty well.
It better
pretty
be good production quality. I just don't want to see it be low. It's a lot to ask, but from this point on, I feel like I'll be disappointed if it's lower production quality than
Yeah.
like
Infinity War.
or like Black Panther.
Yeah,
Really high. I love that one.
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Like when the second one comes out.
Yeah, when you go back and like look at some of the older Marvel ones, some of the first ones now, you're like,
Iron Man 1 and 2.
ooh.
I don't know. Those Iron Man's.
Yeah, the CGI wasn't like crazy bad, but like Thor, his first
Thor.
appearance,
That first
and, like,
Captain America.
Yeah, I hated his costume with like the circles on him, and then like when you look at him now, you're like, that is so awful compared to like the Thor now, where he looks so legit. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into Loki episodes 1 and 2. And I'm not going to do the full ad break yet because this is like no time. So I'll maybe in between 1 and 2, I'll do it. But we do have a few more other people than just Audible now. So we'll go ahead and we'll start cycling them through so you guys don't just always hear that. But anyway, so episode 1 of Loki, we aren't going to do crazy deep dives today. This is more about let's just get back rolling, doing the podcast again. And we're like 2 episodes behind now, so we're going to cram them both in the same episode.
Give me a brief synopsis.
Yeah, since this is a weekly podcast.
It's a plural of synopsis. We're going to do some brief synopses.
Synopses.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I think it's right.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
All right. Oh, we got 2 viewers now. If either one of you know...
We're doing a patent podcast. Stop. Anyways, so episode 1 of Loki. So this is Loki prior to Loki gets good. Like he starts kind of becoming a good guy with Thor, and then he dies from Thanos. So this is Loki right after the first Avengers movie, right at the ending, basically where they're kind of wrapping up the whole invasion, and they're about to send Loki off to, where's the place that they go? From where Thor's from? I'm blanking right now.
Starts with an A. Asgard.
Asgard. Thank you. Anyway, sorry guys, that was embarrassing. But so he was going to get sent to Asgard, get imprisoned, all that kind of stuff, and then Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok, actually. That was before. So anyways, so this is, like, not good Loki yet. I guess that we could say it like that. So this is, like, right after...
Peak mischief.
Yes. And because of everything that happened in Infinity War and Endgame, where they had to go back in time, he actually ends up grabbing the Tesseract as it, like, rolls across the floor because... The Avengers caused that. Yeah. And so the Tesseract is the...
Well, you see it in the movie. He just disappears.
Yeah, but you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember in the movie, do they, like, cover that at all? Like, where he went? I don't remember.
I think that's when he's, like, trying to return all the stones.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Or
maybe... I just feel like I really don't remember. If someone knows... Put it in the thing.
Yeah,
comments
notaclick.net /wait a sec.
Yeah.
And we'll read it off at the beginning of the next
It won't
episode.
be research in between, so we'll just rely on you guys to fill us in. But like in the movie, I don't remember if it's just like they don't notice that he disappeared, or if they do notice and they do something about it. I don't remember. Or if it's just like, they leave that plot hole because obviously they already have the series in mind. Yeah. It's so crazy that, this whole series
so far ahead,
stems from that one.
Yep. Just that
it's
one.
Like 3 seconds. Thing. Crazy.
Yep. You're just like, oh, there he is again, causing mischief. And then now we got a whole like millions of dollars series that I think is actually going to open up like the whole start of the multiverse that we're going to be getting in this next phase.
Well, obviously. I mean, like, now that it's all Disney, I mean, they're bringing in Cars into the multiverse. Owen Wilson, Lightning McQueen. He says, he has to say, like, wow, at some point in the series.
At least once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, so if you're here just to listen to episode 1, you haven't listened to episode 2 yet, I'm hoping we won't spoil it yet, but it could be spoiled because we've watched episode 1 and 2, and we're talking about both of them today. Just to put that out there. But anyways, so basically it's how this whole series starts. Loki grabs Loki
Tesseract.
grabs the Tesseract, which is actually it's the
It's a
blue
stone.
stone, but it's the one that teleports. And that's what it does. So basically, he teleports himself by using the Tesseract.
Is not the reality stone?
No, the reality stone's red. It just changes reality. But so like when Thanos when he was just walking and teleporting, he was using the Tesseract stone, and that's why when Loki used the Tesseract, he basically made the big portal in the sky, and they all came through. The Scepter has the Mind Stone. Tesseract and Scepter are separate. So he had the Mind Stone, where he would hit someone on the head and kind of take them over, and that's what's in Vision. Yeah. Anyways, so
Can't remember what that stone's called.
Wait
a sec.
Oh yeah, yep. Hit us up on Wait a Sec. But anyway, so he basically teleports to this place, and then next thing you know, he's actually I don't want to do the deep dive. I'm already kind of naturally going into the deep dive, and we're gonna be here forever. It's already super late. But so
we still got to stream Rocket League after this.
Yeah. Anyways, so he ends up getting involved with the Timekeeper Agency. Is that what it is?
The TVA, the Time Variance Agency. Maybe it's agency, association.
I'm pretty sure it's agency.
Assemblage.
It looks like an agency.
It does. It seems like one. They got agents.
Yeah, they do have agents. But so maybe let's just talk about some of the things that we thought were cool, or things that stuck out to us. So during the episode, I thought it was crazy that first of all, this place, no kind of magic works in this place.
Yeah.
And so Loki's magic does not work. So, he's just kind of stuck there, not able to do anything. There's this crazy scene that Joe and I were talking about where
wait, hold on. Let's go a little bit in order and we'll get that in a second.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's pretty much he's walking through a line like you're at the DMV. So he gets, pretty much kidnapped once he teleports, he gets kidnapped by the time agents. They take him to the DMV. He's waiting in line. It's the TVA, as they call it, but he's waiting in line. And basically he's waiting in line to stand trial for crimes against times.
Yeah.
And then that's when we see Owen Wilson. So at the same time, Owen Wilson's off fighting some guy that's, not fighting him, but he's like a secret agent pretty much, right?
Yeah.
He's like a TVA agent, and he's investigating, someone else is off, and they're a variant, because they broke the time rules or whatever. So he's investigating that, and then he comes back, and he's sitting in the courtroom, when Loki's standing trial for his crime against time, and, he pleads not guilty. The judge is like, I sentence you to whatever they called it. And he's like, well, I don't know, to be reset. That's what they said. Sentence you to being reset. And he's like, what does that mean? And then Owen Wilson steps up and he's like, wow, I got this guy. I can take him. Wow, just hand him over to me. I need him for an investigation. So the judge hands him over, and now Loki is a CI. He's a criminal. What does the CI stand for?
The what?
A CI. It's I've been watching Dexter. Criminal informant.
Informant.
Yeah. So now Loki's an informant for the TVA, and he's being taken around in handcuffs, and then you can explain that what you're just talking about.
Yeah. So he basically gets saved by Owen Wilson because he has a purpose for him. And so he's starting to kind of get used to everything. He's walking him around. When he's at this one place, this guy he hands him the Tesseract for evidence, and he was like, "Oh, okay." He just opens a desk drawer and just throws it in it's meaningless, and he's like, because he opens his eyes and he basically sees a bunch of Infinity Stones and actually copies some of the same ones.
Multiple of each Infinity Stone.
Right. And he's just like, are those all Infinity Stones? like, like kind of wowed because like,
He's like,
wow.
he's like, what, these little things? Oh, I don't know. We use them as paperweights.
Yeah, basically, yeah, he's basically says they're paperweights because they don't even work in this place. So we kind of figure out that Infinity Stones are like magic, like magic things, and so no magic works here. And so this whole place like exists, and it doesn't. There's no copies of this place. It's like a one timeline agency.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah. But
it could get
I'm
more
thinking,
meta.
Yeah, I'm thinking that that's what it is because they kind of exist out of time. But they're like controlling all the multiverses. Because when it was first talking about, it almost sounded like that they were trying to stop multiverses from happening. They want like one timeline. And I thought that's what it was. But in episode 2, when they're talking about all the different Lokis, I was like, maybe not. So I guess like they're controlling all the different multiverses on timelines.
Well, I guess like maybe you could, depending on how you think of it, each multiverse, is technically like its own timeline, but they're still all parallel. So in that aspect, you can think of it all as one timeline together, and they just, they're, I guess you can go kind of explain the sacred timeline.
Yeah. Because definitely this series is setting up what the multiverse is and trying to explain it before they introduce it to us with these new movies, Spider-Man No Way Home, the Multiverse of Madness that's coming out for Doctor Strange. So I think with WandaVision, they kind of started like the possibility of like, like the multiverse to happen, but this is where they're going to explain it, and then it's going to kind of happen, I think, in Spider-Man No Way Home. But anyway, so the whole sacred timeline thing is like, so it's not something that is supposed to happen a certain way, because that seems like what it is. But what Loki was prying into is it's what it actually is it's these. So there's these 3 timekeepers, time lords. I don't know.
Time lizards.
Yeah, he calls them time lizards. I think they're called timekeepers.
Timekeepers, yeah. Sacred timekeepers.
Yeah, so there's these 3 big guys that are kind of saying this is how it's supposed to happen. And then
these Blue Man Group.
Yeah, it looks like them. And then all the little grunts are the ones like fixing it with these like time grenades and capturing the people who are messing it up. But anyway, so what Loki kind of pushes on is it's not like how time is supposed to be. It's how time is wanted to be by these 3 people. So it's not necessarily like, oh, there's a way to this. They're making it up, and this is what they want. And then they crush anything that's basically outside of it. So they're trying to bring order to something that's not ordered. And so they're making order. There's no such thing as like it being perfect. It's kind of what Loki is pressing on because, mischief, so he can see the opportunity for mischief a mile away. But anyway, so
it's crazy to think about. So
yeah,
I'm just pondering. You probably have, I don't know, maybe you have a better understanding of this whole like system than I do. But so the timekeepers, like, if they already have this like sacred timeline, like, set out in stone, and they're just trying to like protect it, has everything already happened? Like, is there already an end? Or
yeah, and that's what the second episode he touched on some. Loki kind of was kind of grilling Owen Wilson's character, basically about like, so are we in the future, or what happens when the timeline is done? Like, what do you do, and when is it done? And all these kind of things. And Owen Wilson's character is basically like, oh, well, we'll just kind of assimilate into peace. And he's like, Loki was like, that sounds ridiculous, these 3 space wizards. And he kind of broke down like, well, doesn't like the god of mischief being on Asgard and being the son of Odin, the god of the heavens, doesn't that sound kind of like just like my situation? Yeah. And he's like, no, it's totally different.
It's totally different.
So, you know, I'm just pretty, I don't know why this is happening, but maybe instead of them being like actually good people, maybe there's like an end that they want to make them all powerful, and that's what they're shaping. I know that there's a lot of like Marvel background to all this, and even Owen Wilson's character is in it. What's his name?
I guess. Who?
Morbius. Is that it?
Mobius.
Mobius.
It's
Morbius is
something Mobius.
Yeah, it's Mobius.
I don't know.
Morbius is the vampire guy.
Morpheus is the guy from what's that movie called?
The Matrix.
Matrix, yeah.
Will you take the red pill or the blue pill? Let me show you what's behind the curtain.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so anyways, there's a few things that kind of stuck out to me. First of all, when they're trying to find the Loki, and it was just Owen Wilson's character by himself so far. Mobus? What is it?
Morbius.
No, it's not Morbius.
I forget now.
I messed you up.
No, I'm pretty
They're
sure
so
it's
close.
Morbius.
Mobus? Here, let me look. But anyways, so
Morpheus, Morbius.
as I'm looking this up,
Lightning McQueen.
yeah, Lightning McQueen. Kuchow.
Hutch.
Hutch.
What else does he play in?
Dang it, I can't
Not
believe
Morpheus,
I messed
Morbius. I thought it was Morpheus or Morbius. I just said it.
Yeah, you literally just said it.
Mobius.
Mobius?
Mobius.
Is that what it is?
Mobius.
Okay, that's what we'll say it is.
Mobius. Wait a sec. Wait a second. They know what the answer is.
Okay. Mobius is the vampire.
Morbius.
Time.
Zacchaeus.
Keeper. Marvel. Okay. We're getting close.
I have a simpler answer.
Anyways, so let me just, I like got into a deep wiki right now. I'm in the wrong, like.
Mobius.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mobius?
Mobius M. Mobius.
Okay, so
That's
it's
ridiculous.
Mobius, not Morbius.
Yeah.
Okay, Mobius.
Morbius is the vampire.
Right. Okay.
Morpheus. Will you take the red pill or the blue pill?
All right.
That's
Anyways,
why is it Mobius M. Mobius?
I know it's so close. Why
No.
would you do that?
No, Mobius M. Mobius is his full name.
Oh, his whole name's Mobius.
Mobius M. Mobius.
So maybe it's
That'd be
Mobius.
funny.
No.
No. It'd be really funny if it was like Mobius Matthew Mobius.
Why did you put that in there?
Mobius Monica Mobius.
Anyways, as Joey's recovering, one of the cool scenes I thought was when he's interrogating the kid that saw Loki, and he had that like blue pack of gum. I know that's an Easter egg, and I haven't figured it out yet because
What was it called? It was
this
like
timekeeper
Zap
stuff.
something.
Yeah, this timekeeper stuff is like deep Marvel lore, and I'm like mid Marvel lore, but this stuff is like deep stuff. So
It's crazy.
yeah, but so what it made me think of is like how Loki's usually portrayed is like when he goes into his full form, he is like this like it almost looks like a blue devil.
A blue devil.
And
Duke.
yeah, and so when I saw the package of gum, I was like, ooh, that looks like, like who he actually looked like, instead of like, oh, I'm a blue elf or snow elf, dark elf, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, maybe they're gonna like
Jack
bring
Frost.
that part back. Yeah. But I don't think they will. I think that was just like kind of a call out to the comics. I think it was just an Easter egg that won't
Probably,
lead
yeah.
to anything. But anyway, so then they basically end up recruiting Loki to help them find Loki. That's actually like this variant that they can't catch and keeps on killing all the all these timekeeper goons. And so apparently, like, usually a variant, they just kind of take care of them pretty quickly, but there's an issue going on where a variant is killing all their guys, and they don't know why, they don't know what he's up to, and apparently you find out that it's another, like, version of Loki, a different universe's Loki that's doing all this, and so they're like, who better to help than Loki, because, you know, kind of has the same mind, and Loki agrees to it after
Well, it's either like
Mobius.
that or whatever being reset means.
Yeah.
Mobius and Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius kind of like pries on him, like, okay, what if you became Lord of Midgard, Earth? What would you do then? Like, because he's never like figured out what do you do if you actually attain your goal, and so kind of made Loki kind of rethink, like, I don't know what I would do, you know, like maybe then become like the king of space. Okay, you got that. But now what are you gonna do?
Loki,
like,
king of space.
Yeah,
Nice.
Loki.
It's like, all right, now that you're the king of space, what are you doing now? Wow.
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 We're probably gonna hear that quite a bit in this podcast until this show ends.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so he's kind of like prying on some things, like, why does Loki do what he do? Like, why do Loki do what he do? Why does Loki do what he does? And because he's kind of getting to him, like, are you just like someone who wants to go kill people? Is that your thing? Because Loki's thing is mischief. He's kind of like a more of like the Riddler kind of a character from, he more enjoys the, can you figure it out? Can you get through my like mazes and all that kind of stuff? Because he did.
Yeah. And he opens up to Lightning McQueen, and he's like, I don't know, maybe this is just him being Loki, but he opens up and he's like, I don't actually enjoy hurting people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's just more mischief. He likes the mischief aspect of it, like making chaos. And so I think that's what, by the end of this, we're going to get that kind of a Loki that's just messing with people just to mess with them, and not necessarily, I have to kill people and rule over them. Because what am I going to do once I'm ruling? Like, who cares about that?
More like Tom and Jerry type shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what, like, he does.
Yeah, that's his nature.
Yeah. But we've never seen that in the Marvel universe yet.
Except he's like
cinematic universe.
So far, what we've seen is like that ideology, except he's playing with like Infinity Stones and stuff.
Right. And I think he'll kind of give a power up. He's like, before the end of all this.
You know what would be really dastardly? If I opened a portal and I just let a bunch of aliens come through.
That's a great idea. But yeah, so they kind of recruited him. He's kind of on board. Like, we don't really know his true intentions. Is he just trying to, like, see what it's like to talk to a copy of himself? How much mischief could they get up to? Or is this person stronger than him? Or does he, like, maybe, like, actually want to help the timekeepers? And because that's kind of like
you know what it reminds me of is, like, in Infinity War, how Thanos is, like, looking at this alternate timeline of himself where he gets killed. Then he's like, oh, well, I better step in, avenge myself.
True. Yeah, because and Loki did see where he dies. He saw that Thanos kills him, because at one point they're, like, chasing him throughout the timekeeper stuff, because he, like, put this collar on the person chasing him, and it has a little remote dial that, like, moves them back in time. But, they're, like, the same, like, it moves them back in time, but not necessarily, like, they didn't go, like, their mind didn't go back, so they're, like, still in a current, like mindset, but they went back in time. So they have this, like, remote dial, and he starts messing with someone, but he's able to actually go, like, look over what his whole life, like, happened, and I think he's kind of like upset with how his life went. Like his mom died.
Well, yeah, I mean, he
Ragnarok.
realizes, like we said earlier, that his goals, not only are they unrealistic.
Yeah.
Well, first he realizes, Mobius puts that thought in his mind. It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do when you get there? And then he's like, he sees that, well, he doesn't even get there anyways.
Yeah.
So he's like, in this sacred timeline, which this is his mindset. So I'm gonna speak from his perspective.
Yeah.
I wish I had a good Loki impression.
Just with a British accent, I guess.
I can't really do it. What I see, I did
actually
it earlier.
don't know.
And
I don't know.
It came
if he is
across
British.
like more like Thor. But he's like, well, now that I'm, see, now I sound like that rock guy, the rock guy.
You sound like the rock guy.
Oh, sorry, you're in the circle now. Nothing makes sense here. Thor, he's being mean to me again.
But anyways,
all right, hold on. I lost my train of thought. So
yeah.
So, Mobius puts this thought in his mind. It's like, what are you going to do when you get there? And then he goes back and he's like, he realizes in the sacred timeline, which he's probably starting to realize, I can't escape. Like, I can't, this is just how it's going to be.
You're going to reset and have to go through that.
Yeah. This is just how it's going to be. So in this sacred timeline, even then, like, I have no chance of winning. I'm just going to die. You know what I mean? I'm going to die not having achieved my goals. So then I have one of two thoughts come to mind. He's either like, all right, well, I just need to rethink my life and, find a different purpose. Or he's like, well, my only way to achieve those goals is if I kill the timekeepers or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's his underlying plan, is to, really rule over the TVA or like destroy the TVA. Or maybe that's his, typical Marvel plot would probably be, that's his goal, but he ends up, turning good or something like that.
Yeah. Or he just messes everything up. So
Yeah.
the Doctor Strange movie is called The Multiverse of Madness. And in this show, they start talking about like when they have these like little like phone tablet things that start showing when a variant is like varying off too much, that if it hits this like red line, that it's like
It creates a new timeline.
right. I guess that's what it does. It creates a new timeline, or it's just like too far to like, get back to keep the sacred timeline.
Maybe.
Well, it's either that or it just like it's gonna be a lot more work. But
Yeah,
that would be
probably.
crazy if every time it like goes outside of that, it's too late. There's a whole new timeline,
That's
a
a
whole
lot
new
of risk.
universe, and so with the multiverse of madness coming up, that basically is going to have many universes that they're going to be, a lot of issues. And if it's of madness or of mischief or of chaos, I think that Loki is going to be this character that kind of spirals it into madness, and not realizing what that might
Which Loki
do. Yeah, I know, right?
at this point.
And not only that, but so when a new universe is made, it like starts from like at some point at the timeline. So it would be like really hard to like construct like, oh, all these universes have been separate forever in the cinematic universe. But if they can say like, oh no, it all started splitting at this moment in our movies, then you don't have like Tom Holland that looks like 80 years old, or like it looks like someone else, because it'd be like, really, it looks exactly like Tom Holland, all of them. But if it all happened like at this point in time that they can point to, like in the show, then it's like, oh, they all look like Tom Holland, and because it's split right here. But we'll see kind of what happens with that. So then the show kind of ends. Trying to think of what note it ends on. Oh, the bad Loki that's killing all their people like kill these people in a field through like a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what like Loki is about, traps. That's why he's like a Riddler character. I said,
He's like Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
yeah, rather than like hey, I have this huge crown and I'm coming with a scepter and all bow and kneel before me. That's kind of what we've got previously, but he's supposed to be more like he's a trickster. So anyway, so episode 1 ends, and I'll do a super quick ad break here. But
this is really, if you haven't seen part 2 or episode 2 and we haven't ruined it yet, this is the spoiler alert.
Yeah, so you can even pause it right now, watch it, then come back and click play.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's really your only option.
Yeah, you need to listen to us because we're trying to start this podcast off. And if we're doing well, give us even more motivation to keep doing well. Because catching up with Baruto, it's going to be hard to catch up with that show. But I think we can do it. We can do it. Anyway, so this episode is brought to you by our friends at Audible. If you like podcasts, then you will love listening to Audible. If you are anything like me, you may not have the time to read and work or exercise, and that's why I love podcasts. With Audible, you can finally read those books that you've been saying that you will read while still getting things done. With our partnership, you can actually get a free month to see if Audible is right for you, no risk. And while you're doing that, you can be really helping this podcast out. So if you like us, you should definitely help us and, listen to Audible. But all you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/click, CLIQUE. So that's AUDIBLE, audibletrial.com. 1 month free, no strings attached. So back to our episode 2.
This one will be a quicker synopsis. I know we did kind of dive into the first episode, but it's the first episode. There's a lot more to explain. So at this point, we're just explain like how the plot continues.
Under 20 minutes.
So I'll be really quick with this one. So episode 2 opens up, and man, I just had it in my mind. How does it begin? They go, there's another like variance in a timeline. They go to it, and evil Loki, whatever, alternate Loki, hooded Loki. I'm gonna call him hooded Loki.
Yeah. Loki from the hood.
Yeah, Loki from the hood is up to no good once again. And he's in like medieval times, and they do the same thing. They control one of the TVA agents, kill the other ones, whatever. So then at that point, Loki is working with Mobius, and they go back and they try and stop him, and they're pretty much too late, right?
Yeah. It already had happened.
So. Yeah. So not much unfolds there. The next thing, pretty much, they start, putting Loki to work. They're doing some research on basically alternate Lokis, right? That's when they introduce the idea, like, there's many Lokis pretty much throughout like the different universes.
He's the number one variant in all the universes.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically, like, Owen Wilson's character Mobius has like tracked down so many Lokis because he's the god of mischief, so he messes things up.
So pretty much they're doing some research, and Loki comes up with this idea, and I'm definitely brushing over a lot here, but Loki, he's doing research, and he actually goes to like the librarian or the bookkeeper, records keeper, whatever, and he's like, hey, so I'm up to some very important agent business, redlining and whatnot, the type. And I need access to your records concerning the creation of the TVA. She's like, those are classified. And he's like, all right, the creation of the timeline, classified. The end of the timeline, classified. And then he's like, all right, what records can I have? And basically she hands him the only records that are unclassified to him, I guess, are the records on Loki himself. Yeah. So he's diving in, and he actually discovers, I don't remember exactly how he discovers it, but
He was looking up what ended up happening.
Oh,
to
he was
Asgard.
looking at Ragnarok. Yeah,
Ragnarok happened.
yeah. So that because that's part of his history when Ragnarok happened, and he
it's
comes
in
up
the
with
future for him, but
Yeah.
it's before he died. Yeah.
Now he comes up with this idea that if if variant Loki was to hide in, because theoretically, if he's anywhere, they should be able to see him,
Right.
because he should be creating a variation. But Loki comes up with the idea that variant Loki is hiding before apocalypses, because if you do something to something that's about to be destroyed or wiped out, or if you like live in a society 5 minutes before it's about to completely explode, like that's not going to create a variation. There's no way you can mess that up because it's about to die.
Right.
So he pitches the idea to Mobius, and Mobius is like, all right, wow, you just want to get me in the field so you can stab me in the back. And Loki's like, what? I would never do that.
He's like,
Mobius
you've done
is like
50 times.
Wow, I've seen you do that like 50 times. He's like, well, I would never do it again. So anyways, I guess eventually he convinces him, and oh, no, this is what, so at this point, Mobius introduces Loki to the artifact that they found from that variant Loki left, and it's like, that stick of bubble gum or whatever, and they trace it back like, all right, well, you can only find this on Earth from the years 2043 to 2053. And so they're like, all right, how many apocalypses are in that time frame? And they're like, all right, well, there's a few. This one stands out. It's like a hurricane in the year 2050 in this place in Alabama. And there's only one store in the area where you can find this. Like that gets wiped out.
Yeah, and it has plenty of like food and stuff. So
yeah, so pretty much they teleport there to like in the middle of the hurricane, so everyone's about to die, and they teleport there, or they time surf there.
I like that time surf.
They time surf there. No, what did Mobius say? Something about a jet ski.
Yeah, that he like always wanted to do that, but it would create a variation.
Yeah. So they hop on their time jet ski, and they go to like in the middle of the hurricane, in the middle of that like small apocalypse, and they're like, all right, we're going to split up. And then the lead like TVA like guard is like, all right, Loki has to come with me. I can't trust him with you. Because she's armed, and Mobius is just some guy.
He's too relaxed.
Yeah, he's too chill. And they argue about it. Loki ends up being like, it's fine. I'll go with her. I know you trust me, but she doesn't. And he's like, all right, well, that's a strong word, but whatever. So he goes with the chick, the TVA guard. And basically what ends up happening is the guard is actually under control from variant Loki. And Loki watches the guard.
Not right from the get-go.
Eventually.
Yeah, he takes control.
Yeah, he just like reveals himself pretty much. He's like, all right, well, I'm actually you. And then, there's like a fight pretty much. And everyone starts to realize what's going on. Basically, I don't know if we had mentioned this yet, but whenever the time guards go back and they reset the timeline for like a certain like variance, they use like this time bomb pretty much, and it, they teleport home, and then it's on a timer, and it resets that like area back to how it was before the variance.
Right.
So Loki, when he was creating these variations, the reason he was killing the guards is so he could steal like the time bomb that they had. So variant Loki has taken all these time bombs, and he's made like a circuit out of them in his store. He set up a huge circuit of like a bunch of time bombs that he's stolen, and he's rigged it to all go off at one time. And we're not entirely sure what that does, because what it actually looks like is it kind of looks like he like reversed engineered them. So pretty much, the Lokis are fighting, and variant Loki, which we find out is a female.
Yeah.
It's a female version of Loki, which is, that's a big plot point, but sets off, successfully sets off all those time bombs. And, we just see them go off. We don't actually see the aftermath.
Yeah. And they even, so they're like going off on a timer, but then she transports them through time, each one to a different location.
Yeah.
With, because she has one of their like Palm Pilots or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
That do the time warping, time surfing.
Yeah.
So she had it all rigged up where like these were all getting sent all across the timeline, and
different places, different times. And at the cuts to the TVA, and you can see, they have pretty much like a picture up of the timeline. You can see all the branches coming off from all the variations that she just set off. And so we don't know exactly what it does, but what we kind of think may be happening is that she pretty much reverse engineered them. So now she's going back and setting off all the variations that she created all at once. And it's going to be like too much for the TVA to handle.
Yeah.
And at, near the end of the episode, this is pretty much at the end. Another thing that happens is, she is like trying to escape. She opens up like a time door and she steps through. We don't know where she went, but Loki's about to step through, and then Mobius and like a couple of the guards are running up. They're like, Loki, no, don't do it. I don't know if they think he just set it off or if they know what's going on, but they're telling him not to go through the door. I feel like they're like, just the way they said it, they're like, no, don't do it, like, for your own good. Like, I think they were like, don't follow him, it's not worth it, or something like that, or follow her.
Yeah.
But he steps through the door and he follows her. Where they went, we'll have to find out next week.
Yeah, which this is going to be kind of crazy to see, like,
we don't know what happened, what the impact is, where they went, what's going to happen now that they're both in the same place, alone. Who knows?
Yeah, because I'm not sure if, like,
we don't know where this chick came from, what's her backstory.
I don't know if girl Loki is like gonna be like, the time lords or whatever they're called, timekeepers, they're just they're corporate, guys trying to like keep everything in order, but it's not how it's supposed to be, so I'm trying to liberate everything. Or if it's just like, I just love causing chaos. That's my problem. Or maybe I'm addicted.
This is very meta, but maybe it's like, in her timeline, she also, maybe it's like a cycle. She went through the same thing that guy Loki's going through right now, and she's like, she realized that she had to destroy the TVA in order to destroy the destiny that they set for her of never being the ruler, of dying that way.
Yeah, because it's just like, he's going to die unless he does something about it. And he really seems interested in seeing the Time Lord guys. Timekeepers. Yeah. So, we're not really sure of that, but him going through the portal kind of shows, like, his intentions aren't good of, like, wanting to be with the Timekeepers.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they might be good, but I don't know if he's, like, with the Timekeepers. Like, I think he might want a different purpose, but I think he's going to find, like, my purpose is to give them something to do, like to give them work, to cause mischief and all that kind of stuff. But with all the branches that just happen, and it seems like madness, I feel like, I don't know if this event is going to cause like the multiverse to kind of start exploding.
Do we know how many episodes this is going to be?
I don't know. At least has to be 6. But anyway, so, because he might take what she's doing, like, and they reset her, and then he does something even bigger. Like, I could see that happening, to make like an even crazier like event that happens. But who knows? I mean, like, we don't even know who these timekeeper people are. It could be like 3 Lokis just like messing with everyone.
Ooh.
But magic doesn't work there, so how are they doing anything? Like, what kind of power are they using? But I don't know.
Isn't there like one of the Infinity Stones or something that like prevents like other magic from being used? Or no, I'm thinking of
that's just
Doctor Strange, where they go to like the mirror dimension where you can't use any kind of magic or something like that.
Okay. yeah, we don't really know where they're at. We really think that Mephisto is gonna come in here because at some point, like Loki kind of starts being cool with Mephisto in the comics, where he's kind of like the small blue devil and Mephisto's like the big red devil. So we don't really know if he's gonna come in. Maybe Mephisto is just doing all this, but then I kind of was looking up in the comics and kind of seeing that, the timekeepers is a real thing. So I don't think he's involved in that, but I do think that we'll get introduced to him, hopefully, here because Doctor Strange was supposed to have like a scene at the end of WandaVision, but with COVID, it couldn't happen. And we were pretty sure that Mephisto has Wanda's kids, their souls. So at some point, he has to get brought up into this, but not sure when it's going to happen. But that's pretty much it. So he walks through the door. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's it. So that was just our, kind of just coming together real quick,
Synopsis.
getting an episode in. We're not really doing any deep dives today, but we will be doing a deep dive for next time. So I know some of you guys really like that. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into our community news.
Bit. Unfortunately, all my shoes have mysteriously disappeared. I suspect Nargles are behind it.
I had to pick Luna Lovegood because my dog Luna just jumped up and wanted us to pet her. If you're watching the visual, I almost said visual version. I guess that would still make sense. If you're watching this on YouTube, you actually see my dog. But anyways, we're going to get into our community news. We did have someone write into the trivia answers, but they weren't answering one of our trivia questions. I think that they were just sad that we were stopping for a while.
Taking a hiatus.
Yeah, we didn't really mean to do that. Just kind of, we all kind of got a little overwhelmed. But now I got my setup, and it's going to be much easier just to record whenever we want to. But anyway, so it is Brian. What episode is this for? He put 27, so maybe Brian is 27 years old. But he writes in saying, "Keep going with this show. It's really cool. And if you shout me out, I'll advertise your show on 4chan."
He's actually
What is
from the
4chan?
future.
Oh my goodness!
And from the 27th episode, and he's saying,
It's
keep
us.
going. No, he's saying keep this going because by episode 27, you guys are like making bank. You're world famous.
Wow, world famous.
Yeah, you're going on tour.
Our biggest thing is we just want to build a community.
You're super rich. You don't live by any rules.
I like a few rules.
You have your own TV show.
Wow, our own TV
by
show.
episode 27.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Really quickly, I'm going to actually look up just to see if we have any 5-star reviews. I forgot to look that up. We haven't really got too many for this show yet. We've gotten a lot for some of our other shows. But I'll look up this one just to see if there are any. Doing it on my iPad real quick. Let's see. Nope, we don't have any new ones. So, no new ones. All the other ones that are there have already been shouted out. But if you listen on Apple Podcasts, which are actually doing a subscription service soon, which kind of will help us to do like some special episodes that are like not about things happening right now, but maybe we can go back and watch something and kind of give a special episode, or I don't know, maybe we'll play like some game together,
We're gonna do episode
some geek game.
Just about Hot Rod.
Just about Hot Rod. Hey, I'll do that.
I will do it.
And then go into what Hot Rod is actually saying.
Yes.
Like
What's the real meaning?
Yeah, what's the real meaning of the movie?
What has it
Hot
taught
Rod?
me? How did it change my outlook on life?
But yeah, so they're doing a subscription thing coming up. But anyways, so we will actually shout you out if you leave a 5-star review, but you have to leave a review for us to see it. So make sure you leave a review, and we will shout you out if you do a 5-star review. Sorry, Joey looked like he was wanting to say something.
No, I'm just laughing. I was thinking about my favorite quote from that movie.
This is dangerous. getting Joey on the podcast really late at night.
All right,
'Cause at this
listen,
point,
so-
it's impressions and jokes.
The part at the end of the movie where Bill Hader's like, "Why is Rod kissing his sister?"
Oh.
You know what I mean? He's like, they're not siblings. That just blew my whole world.
What if at some point, because I didn't see that throughout the movie that, that would give that indication, but what if there actually is a point where, like, they introduce it? I don't think so. I think it's just nonsense.
Wait, then there's another part where after the riot, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And whatever the guy's name, Ricky?
Oh,
I don't know.
where he, like, stole the TV.
He's standing there, like, with his arms like this, and he's like, yeah, man, people just take a situation and they just take advantage of it. And the next time it cuts to him, he's just holding the TV.
Yeah, we love that movie.
All right, that's going to happen.
All right, we'll do a
Hot Rod
review
episode.
of Hot Rod. If I have to set all that up for, like,
We'll do it
like
for 5
bonus. No, like it's like a bonus episode that's outside of normalcy, so subscribers can get it, and subscribers would get, like, an ad-free show
Like
where you
a
don't have to hear us
Patreon,
talk.
pretty much.
Yeah,
A
basically.
lot of people do that with Patreon.
Apple's just trying to, they steal
Monopolize
everything
it, you know.
5 years later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm looking into that.
They're
So
just, building up for the New World Order. It's fine.
yeah, so I'm looking out through all that. We'll see what happens. I'll announce that as we get closer, just to see, like, what extra content can we do that's geeky related, but it's not like the week in geek. So it's outside of the week, because that's what this show is all about. Keeping up with the times of the geek realms. But anyway, so so if you leave a 5-star review, if you actually write a review, we will shout you out. There's no trivia question of the day today, because we just wanted to get together real quick and figure it out. How do you actually pronounce Morbius? Leave
Mobius.
us Mobius. No, see, I did it wrong.
No.
Okay, we'll say that this is the trivia question. And when you guys answer us to it, it gets us excited and it helps us to make podcasts. So if you're sad that we had a hiatus, you need to actually write in to notaclick.net/trivia and answer this question. Let's see. I had one ready, and then it just went away.
What is Mobius M. Mobius's middle name?
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. What's his middle name?
I think it's Monica.
Monica. Yeah,
It's like
see if you can
Mobius
find out.
Mayweather Mobius.
Yeah, and if there is none, like, if it doesn't actually, then it's just M. But anyway, so that's your trivia question. Write in to notaclick.net/trivia, and that's CLIQE. But anyways, let's see. I'm going through this. Yeah, at the end of this, stay tuned for after this podcast. Right when we end, a random ad will come up, and that just helps us to keep hosted right now, because it's not free to host all this. And we're getting to a point where we're gonna get capped soon, not like shot, but like our storage.
The competition is really gonna come for us.
Our storage is about to get like capped, so that's
We're
why
gonna get capped.
we have to do all this just to even keep going. We don't want to delete episodes or anything. But anyway, so
Podcast will be coming to an end.
but anyways, it's just a practical thing that we have to say, and we just like making this content. But you can also find us on Instagram at Pardon My Geek Podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, also on Alexa devices. All you have to do is just ask Alexa. Hopefully, I just triggered that. Play this Pardon My Geek podcast, and it will actually start playing. My Alexa's actually finally muted. I never do that before we start, and I always have to scramble afterwards. But anyways, on Google Podcasts and all other podcast players out there, we distribute to like everything. All clickable links can be found at notaclick.net. So if you don't want to type in trivia, you can just go to notaclick.net and click on stuff, and you'll find it all there under the podcast. We have no 5-star shout outs. But thank you, Joey Skywalker, for getting us back on track.
Always.
You know, it's past 12 a.m. now, and
time for some Rocket League.
yeah. No, I'm dead. Tired.
Yes.
We'll figure that out if we're actually gonna do it. But thank you guys and take it easy.
See you guys.
See you guys later.